All right. This is the part that I was waiting for, because because you know how everyone says ISO's ultimate is a 50-50?
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to make the ISO ultimate a 60-40 just based off of mathematics. By the way, this pattern I stole directly from Royal G. So
let me handle
so
ISO.
credit to him
my
for this ISO ult pattern, and he has
My
a
ult
whole
is
video
ready.
that I can send you going in depth of how to use the ISO ult.
My
So here's
ult
how you
is
probably win
ready.
the ISO ult. First off, you're gonna knife out and you're gonna shift walk to the right wall. You're gonna angle clear. So there's a wall in the center here. Basically what's gonna happen is you're gonna AD swing silently. You want this all to be silent because the water is very, very loud. Like
Okay.
in the ISO ult, the water's very... Okay, I'm trying to auto respawn. The water's very, very loud. So if you're not shift walking, they're gonna know exactly where you are. And the goal with the ISO ult is like the mini game with the ISO ult is you want to know where they are without them knowing where you are. So let's look at my screen real quick. So here is exactly how an ISO ult should work.
No distraction.
And it's your
My
time.
ult is ready.
Knife out, shift walking to the right one, clearing the right side, and if they don't swim me from the right, my crosshair's immediately on the left, ready to strafe and shoot them. Have you ever wanted to see this? But instead, you're just stuck looking at this. Hi, my name is Berate. I'm a Radiant coach, and if you want to get coached absolutely free of charge, join my Discord server, read the VOD submission rules, submit a VOD for me to review, and I will get to it as soon as I can and turn it into a video giving you detailed notes along the way. Enjoy the video.
Just a little background. I've been playing Valorant since like the beta.
Mhm.
I hit Immortal in like before they added Ascendant in, so when it was like a little bit easier.
Oh yeah.
And I've been like Ascendant 3 around Ascendant 2 or Ascendant 3 ever since then, but like I've been playing like really bad recently. And I've just like been stuck in Diamond 2, Diamond 3.
Okay. What was the thought process behind you throwing another vulnerable there?
I heard the Roomba go off,
Uh-huh.
so I just kind of threw it. I guess there wasn't really any thought process behind it.
It makes sense, yeah. Okay, so something you have to keep in mind with the ISO vulnerables is ISO vulnerables are not meant to give you a direct advantage in fights. They're meant to either like take people off of angles, or they're meant to combo with other pieces of damaging utility. So you should never assume that an ISO vulny is like a blind, where if you hit someone with it, you're immediately going to be winning that fight. Because like, imagine if ISO had a Phoenix flash, right? You could flash someone and you can like go in with relative confidence that you're going to be winning that fight, right? But the thing with the ISO vulnerable is, one, it kind of broadcasts that you're going to be swinging, and it lets them be ready for it. And two, it also is going to make them not want to swing you and run away and disengage from the fight. And since the ISO vulnerable lasts for such a short amount of time, you can't really be using it to gain advantages in fights like this. But okay, something you have to keep in mind with ISO is you want to be using the double tap whenever it's a possibility that you could get into a fight. You always want to be using that. It's just because of the fact that here you're holding, and I assume at this point you're expecting to take a fight with someone like coming out of here, right? So whenever you're expecting to take a fight, even if you like pop it and quote unquote waste it, it's not really a waste, because there is always a non-zero chance that someone is going to swing you. So it's always better to have your double tap active than to not have it active, because right now you could have gotten your shield for free with this kill, because this, like, your positioning was amazing here. Like, you're in an off angle, you're holding it, cross replacement beautiful, reaction time phenomenal, but it's just the using the utility to help you steamroll, because ISO in and of himself isn't like Reyna, where for every kill it's like a direct steamroll. ISO only has steamroll capabilities if he has his shield, because without his shield he's pretty much just sitting duck. The only advantage that he gets in a 1v1 is if for some reason someone swings him while he's vulnerable, if he's in an off angle where he can kill him, which you were, or if they're in his ultimate. I would have ulted that guy. Yeah. Your reason for that is ISO ultimate is kind of like Reyna's ultimate, in the sense that you don't really, it's not really worth saving. If you if there's ever an opportunity to just flat out win a round with ISO ultimate without like risking anything, just do it. Because ISO's ultimate is, in all honesty, it's a horrible ultimate. It is not good. And 9 times out of 10, it is not going to be winning you rounds. But that also means that it's not worth saving for like some massive ultimate. And if there is an opportunity to use it, then use it. It's kind of like Reyna's ultimate. Okay, one sec.
Yeah, I think I get the round for free also because Chamber just kills him if I lose.
Yeah, true, yeah. You still get the round for free, but there is always that non-zero chance that that Chamber just hits a nasty hospital flick and just taps you out. I would really be trying to double up with my Chamber here.
Chamber? Okay.
Yeah, because at this point you've already lost the round at this point. So like I assume by now you know like the concept of like checkmate in a round, right? Okay, so yeah, so when any team has a numbers advantage of 2 or more, the round is in checkmate. So right now they have a 2+ numbers advantage, we're fine. So right now the goal isn't to win the round, the goal is to deal as much economic damage as you can, because at this point the round is already lost, so you want to be guaranteeing as many kills as you can. So what I'd be doing is I'd be doubling up with the Chamber here, because this Chamber is going to go alone and he's going to die. The same thing with the Gecko. The Gecko's going to go alone and he's going to die. And wow, that Jet's awful. Right, but in these rounds, like, imagine the Jet didn't throw the round. It would be a 4v2, and you two would be separated, and not only would you lose the round, you would also be giving up opportunities for you to get more kills to damage their econ going into the next round. Because I don't know if you hold tab at any point during this, but I'm pretty sure that the enemy's economy is not the best right now. Massive glaring issue here. Okay. Whenever you or one of your teammates are holding an angle that gives them a direct advantage in the fight, aka if they swing me they will die, aka off angles, operators, etc., you don't want to be using any type of utility to disencourage them from swinging. You want them to swing your Chamber right now.
Yeah, right, because they die anyways from one shot. Right?
Exactly, and the die anyways. No, but even if your Chamber was like posted up with a Vandal, so like say that your Chamber was like right here with this TP to get out, you wouldn't want to be used this vulnerable anyways, because Chamber has a direct advantage in the fight, he has off angle advantage, and he can get out, and right now you're disencouraging the enemy team from swinging. Same thing with one-way smokes. This is a problem I see with Omen players a lot, is they'll throw one-way smokes on top of operators that just stop people from swinging. But exact same idea with this. You don't want to be throwing utility when you or your teammates have a direct advantage in the fight. So this vulnerable is very bad. At this point, I think you're putting way too much trust in how powerful the vulnerable actually is. Like, the vulnerable's horrible. Like, that thing does almost nothing. Like, I think you're putting way too much trust on the amount of advantage that the Vulny actually gives your team. So I think you would be better off just, like, double holding that angle with your Omen instead of just, like, sitting there and getting ready to vulnerable it. Stop. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe. Thanks. I would be careful about playing one-and-dones like this with ISO. Reason for that is in this elo, you should always assume that there's going to be a guy there to trade you. Like, people rarely, especially in this like higher elo, people rarely just swing without a trade unless they're stupid like that Jet that one round. Like, I don't know what that Jet was smoking, but like especially here at the start of a round, they're going to be someone there to trade. Now, if you were playing Reyna, Chamber, hecking Yoru, I would love this play because it's an off angle, you have a direct advantage in the fight, you can get one and get out. But the thing with ISO is he doesn't have any get out of jail free cards or any method of escaping a gunfight. So if they swing you right now, I assume that you're gonna get one, but then you're just gonna get insta traded. But yeah, yeah, like the way that I like to play ranked is always assume that the enemy doesn't know how to do anything until proven otherwise. So like when the game starts, the enemy doesn't know how to fake, the enemy doesn't know how to lurk, the enemy doesn't know how to default, they don't know how to contact, etc. Like, but the second that they start doing something, like the second that they throw a fake or the second that they start lurking, that's when you start being cognizant of it. So you're fine to, you're completely okay to die to it the first time, but then after that you have to start being careful of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like a lot of people would chalk this up to be like, oh, you should have thought the Chamber was lurking, but like you had no reason to assume that the Chamber was lurking, so that death was fine. I'm not, like, that wasn't on you, that death was fine. So when I have ISO ultimate, something I like to do is I like to play off site, and my goal is to try and ult the planter and then play to retake off tap. So now Do you IGL at all in your games? Is that something you do?
Sometimes like I don't know. It's like one of those things where some games I'm feeling it and I'll IGL.
Yeah.
But most of the time I don't.
Yeah, well, one set play that I love to do whenever I have ISOL, and this is just like a gimmicky set play that can really be applied to any map. So like a defense set play, and basically here's how it goes. You tell your team to play off site and in spawn, and then once you have a read that they're going to a site, what you do is the second that they tap the bomb, you ult the planter, and then the rest of your team just util dumps and floods on site. It's pretty much a free round. Like it's such a simple play, but it has netted me so many free rounds when I'm playing ISO, and it's a play that I love to abuse. So like I'll just write this down. Just next time you're playing ISO, you can abuse this play. This is the part that I was waiting for, because because you know how everyone says ISO's ultimate is a 50-50? There's a way to make the ISO ultimate a 60-40 just based off of mathematics. Have you heard of the Monty Hall problem before?
No, I have not.
Okay, so the Monty Hall problem is a problem in statistics where I don't really feel like explaining it, but there is a way to statistically make ISO ultimates favorable for you. So let's look at my screen quick. So here is exactly how an ISO ult should work.
No distraction. My ult is ready.
Knife out, shift walking to the right one, clearing the right side, and if they don't swim me from the right, my crosshairs immediately on the left, ready to strafe and shoot them.
Okay.
What this does is this clears every possible angle they could be on the right, and then its process of elimination, they have to be on the left of the wall. And the furthest that you can get in an ISO ult, in a full 360, the furthest you can get while shift walking is around the center. So you know that your flick range is somewhere around this 45-degree angle, roughly here.
Okay.
So if you clear all that right side, then it's just a micro flick and you win. At that point, your micro flicks just have to be good. And and it's really all I wanted to show you. That is the best way to statistically win an ISO ult if you're the one in the ult. Now I want you to ult me. So here is how to win an ISO ult when you are the one getting ulted.
It's you and me.
You want me to do anything?
You're gonna shift walk all the way to the back,
Oh.
and you're gonna try and hit a flick like that, right? So you're gonna shift walk all the way to the back, and then you're gonna try and hit a flick. Because if you swing out, because if the ISO knows what they're doing, they're gonna be using the Royal G pattern. Especially if they main ISO, they're definitely gonna be using that pattern. So the best way to counter it is just by sitting still and just trying to hit a micro flick.
Okay, so just like
It's you and me.
obviously I'm the one ulting you this time, but I'm just gonna go all the way to the back. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I got you.
Exactly. And at that point, it's just a micro flick. And I assume that your aim is good enough to be able to hit at least like a 45-degree flick, right? Like I'm pretty sure you got that.
Yeah, most of the time I got it.
It definitely. I mean, like, and at that point, if it's not, just spend some more time in the range, just practicing 45-degree flicks. When you are on a duelist without a movement ability, and I count those as Jet, Raze, and Neon are the 3 duelists with movement abilities. Your first job is second entry. Babysit your duelist to make sure that they have a trade. 1, because you get your double tap, and 2, you make sure that the space that they took is properly capitalized on. Or you have option 2. Option 2 is lurking. Now, you know the shtick with lurking duelists, right? Everyone hates the lurking duelist. But if you are not playing Jet, Raze, or Neon, there is no reason why it should be your job to entry unless you're the only duelist. If you're the only duelist, then it's your job to entry. But if you're the secondary duelist and you already have a movement duelist on your team, then you are 1,000,000% okay to lurk and to get kills, take weird timings, and win the round. And I assume you know how to properly lurk, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. Have you heard of PP on the PP before?
I have not heard of that.
Play passive until pressure placed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So essentially, just the easiest way to do this is I'll go to Valo Plant quickly. The easiest way to implement PP on the PP is, so say that your team, I'm grabbing random agents here, say that your team is pushing A, but they're all the way back here, and you are here ready to lurk on C. What I notice a lot of people doing is as soon as the barriers drop, they just start shift walking up and taking space, and then they get themselves one tapped by the enemy breach who's just holding that, right? So the way that you'd want to do it is you want to wait until your team puts pressure on the site, and that's when you want to start their lurk. There's two reasons for that. One, your team is going to be drawing attention away from you and onto themselves, which will make it so that you have a lot easier time to lurk. Two, it'll draw rotates. Pretty straightforward, don't need to explain that. Because if you think about it like statistically and like from like a mathematical standpoint, the enemy team isn't going to be searching for question marks. They're going to be like reacting off of the sure thing. So there could be an enemy brimstone on site anchoring, and he's going to be like, huh, now there could be a random ISO lurking up C right now, and I'm going to get myself shot in the back. Or I could go and help my team who's screaming fighting World War 76 on A. Which one do you think this brimstone's going to do?
Probably go help his team.
He's going to go help his team, right? And that is the pattern you want to use when you're lurking, especially when you're doing an unexpected lurk. Like, who expects the ISO to lurk, right? No one expects the ISO to lurk. So you're going to be able to catch a timing on him to follow this guy and shoot him in the back. And when you feel that there's adequate pressure placed is up to your own game sense and up to your own discretion. But treat it like when your team starts to use utility and your duelist starts to entry on the site is when you're allowed to shift walk up, clear everything, and start lurking into their spawn and do a pinch play. Because the end goal of a lurk is to pinch them and make their retake harder, to stop them from rotating, or to shoot them in the back when they're trying to defuse the bomb. Simple as that.
Gotcha.
So that is the Duelist Lurking 101.
Hey you, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure to subscribe to Berate, or I will take your Valorant elo.